Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm Bark. This is a reading for the full moon in Pisces, and this very karmic time that we are in here. Welcome in if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Um, there's an energy here of, well, the first card I pulled was this, the Isle of Women, Women's Mysteries. This feeling of, and the second one was tribe. So this feeling of the necessity of finding your tribe, of finding the people that you vibe with. And this feels to me like there's a lot of healing um, elements in um, connecting with people who understand who you are. Some of you, have this cocoon energy, this feeling of being um, withdrawn into yourself, into your own uh, your own world. Not that there's anything really wrong with that, but there's just a feeling of that healing would be found or could be found in connecting with other people. Well, other women for the majority of you. But if you're a man, obviously, with other men. Um, I don't know why that's obvious, but that's just a word that popped into my head. So take it as it resonates. Um, this card here, the sovereignty of land. No, that's not what it's called. The sovereignty, sovereignty. I can't even talk. The power of the land. Um, I have a very special relationship with this card. To me, it has this energy, and it's because I once, um, when I was doing some of my own work, it came with this sentence of the power of the land can change the endings of cycles. And for some reason that stuck to me or with me. Most of the time I can't remember my readings afterwards in details. But this to me just kind of stuck to me, and there's something um, in this particular full moon, which also is a full moon eclipse, and this ending of karmic cycles. And since this card came, there's something in this connecting um, to other people who know your energy is what I'm hearing. But this can also be like an ancestral energy, this thing of the land that you come from, the place you were born, the knowledge, the wisdom, the things that runs in your family line, that are kind of like ingrained in your bones. There's something there to connect to this and see how this, tribe card is very, you kind of clogged. To me, this could easily be like an ancestral energy of all that came before me, all that I'm kind of connected to energetically, as well as physical, through the whole DNA. So it's like on the bottom of this. Oh, I don't think now you guys can see it. Here's a card that talks about dreams, um, and I get this. Life can be a dream come true. I get this feeling of, for some of you here, you are the manifestation of your ancestral dreams. If that makes your ancestors' dreams, if that make any sense. I guess that's a weird thing to say about something like that, but it's like energetically they have kind of, they're claiming a part of a part of you somehow, um, to be their manifestation, um, which might sound really, really strange. But that's the message that I'm getting here. If you resonate with that, take it and use it in whatever healings work you're doing. But it's kind of like there's this need to honor and recognize that at least partly you are a manifestation of the people that came before you and the dreams that they have, the things that they dreamed into existence. Something like that. Yeah. There's a really, really powerful energy with this full moon. Some of this, I think, has to do with karma, ancestral karma, things that's been passed down. Some of you are probably here to break patterns within your family constellation, to do things in a new way, see things in a new life, heal some things, forgive some things. There's something there. So, Spirit, tell me about the energy for the viewers on this full moon. The Lovers. And thank you so much for watching, by the way. I really appreciate it. It's let's see here. What else, Spirit? The Star, healing. To me, this card comes with this energy of, again, connecting to what you came from. The wolf tribe thing to me is a very, this wild, very intuitive, very search for something deeper, something primal almost. See how, one wolf is like, if you can see it, one wolf has his mouth open, and the other one is more, looks more relaxed, more joyful, more. This, to me, has something. Is also the whole shadow aspect. The all of you, the things that you carry with you that might not be, so. That might not be so light, your shadow side, the deep hidden things that comes from family lines, sometimes there's something here that needs to be brought to light, needs to be healed. And this full moon is very much about the ending of karmic cycles, about the letting go, but it's also an eclipse, so the light, the full moon is always, something is in the moonlight, so it's not as easy to see metaphorically as the things that are in broad daylight. But this moon is darker than they normally are because it's a full moon eclipse. But that just to me, that's kind of like this energy here. Something is like hidden deep, 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 deep beneath the surface here for you to find and put a spotlight on here. Something that needs to come to the surface so that you can grasp what it is and heal it in some ways. Yeah, this card Ghost here, something from the past. This ancestral energy again, something in your line that needs to be healed, that's kind of like calling to you to be the one that puts this out into the world, and not puts it out into the world, brings it out into the light, see it what it is, and you'll know what to do, is what I'm hearing. Let's I don't know why I'm pulling one of these in the middle of the thing, but it came to me, so we'll follow that. Stepping stone, take the next step. Simplicity, focus. Yeah, there's an element of being on a journey here. She looks quite young. I don't know if she actually is, but this, looks like an inner child thing. In this sense, maybe not necessarily an inner child, but this sort of innocence, this connection to the past, to your tribe, your ancestral lineage, and it's kind of like you are the one that is meant to find the stones out of this, whatever this is in your case, some sort of pattern that needs to be healed, that needs to be let go of. What's the challenge here, Spirit? What can we know about what this is? And obviously, it's gonna be different, but from everyone. But is there like a common thing that we can touch on here? Knight of Swords, Nine of Wands. There's something here that has been heavy to carry for a while. And when I say a while, this to me is like generations back. Some sort of underlying shadow, see, with all this dark here, that has not really been seen. It's been there, but nobody has, seen it, talked about it, acknowledged that it existed. It's been kind of an unconscious pattern with all these swords running through your family line. I think you are aware of it, though. If you're watching this and it's resonating with you, you know what I'm talking about here. At least you have some sort of idea that there's something for you to look for, something for you to explore here. This to me is also very much the spiritual protection. See how much light there is in this. So this is not it's not a dark thing, in the sense that, oh my goodness, now, this is like shadow aspect. It can be patterns of not feeling good enough, of not feeling like, maybe there's a family pattern of not being able to manifest money, or, something like that, that goes way back, and is passed down, that type of thing. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be literally anything, but it's like you already know, you have some idea that there's something here that's been playing out in various ways for a long time. Knight of Swords. See how he's like trying to, and see, he's looking down. It's like, I'm going to look into the shadows here and figure out what the heck this is. You see, he has his swords, and here's I don't know. I think this is a falcon of some sorts, but this like sharp vision, like, I am coming for this. Whatever this is for you, I am coming to figure it out, to look into the ancestral shadow thing here and finally figure out what the heck it is we are carrying around here. All right, tell me more about that, Spirit. And this, the Lover's card here also, of course, talks about balance, about choices, about, getting into a circle. See how they're running in circle too, getting into a karmic circle of something that's healed, that's good, that's creative, that's, manifesting from a different place, out of the darkness into the light. Tell me more, Spirit. Good. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, for some of you, this is about a pattern that has I don't know, that's been around for a long time, that has to do with this mentality of not having enough, of not being deserving, of not being able to manifest, of being kind of like on the outskirts of something. I'm seeing like a group of people over to the side, kind of this feeling of not being good enough, not worthy, not all of that, which of course is not true, but there's something in that, to be looked for. See how it's almost like a portal here. It's like this rotten fruit, so to speak. There's something hidden in there. It's like this pattern, this idea, this way of thinking is really, its time has come. It's like it's time for it to just be healed, be gone, be looked at for what it is. It's just a pattern. It's not the truth. It's just the way that things have run. What's the supportive energy here, Spirit? Yeah, the Chariot. It's definitely time for this to, be looked at, so that there can be movement that is much more aligned. See how there's the moon. again, and the connection to spirit, so that we can manifest from a different point of view. This feels to me like there has been a lot of stuckness um, coming from this lack mentality. So you see, this life can be like a dream. Yeah, it can, but what's the dream? Is the dream based on a healed perspective? Are you dreaming, manifesting your life from a healed perspective, or are you carrying around the weight of, generations past? Yeah, Two of Cups. This is, this is something that has run for quite some time, and this, goes back to this dreaming thing. Many of you are the manifestation of your ancestral line brought here to heal this for your lineage, to work on this, to see it what it is, and to heal this energy. But you already know this. If you're watching this, this is not news to you. You might, be battling some resistance to getting it, or no, not resistance. You might have a hard time getting it out of, this shadow side and into the light, so you can really see it. But it's there. It's not. It's not a new thing for you. These are these swans. I think they're supposed to be swans. It's a very intuitive energy for me as well. So there's something in this, looking deep. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune here. She is definitely, tuning in, trying to manifest a new, brighter future here. Seeing things for what they are. If you see, this moon cycle. Beautiful card. What else, Spirit? Talk to me about this. How can the viewer work with this? Six of Cups. There's a, this talks about generosity and all this, but see how all the spider webs, this to me is this energy of remembering that, yeah, you have some karmic patterns that comes from your ancestral lines. You also have the light side of that. You also have, the personal powers of your ancestral lines, all your intuitive knowledge, that type of thing, that probably runs for as long in your family as this does. So remember to see, both sides. The answer here, the answer to healing this lack mentality, is to integrate more of all the personal power, all the strength, all the accomplishments that either know, like physically in the world, yeah, from stories passed down, things that people have left behind, physical things, letters, that type of thing, or some intuitive knowledge of things that has, that you have from previous generations. So there's a sense of working, weaving together the story, making this big kind of connecting the dots type of thing to see exactly what this is about. Tell me more, Spirit. Judgment. Yeah, karma here. Ancestral karma. King of Wands. See how he's connected. This is like a portal to the past. So this is you, trying to tap into the collective knowledge from your ancestral line. What is this for us? And seeing how the fox here, he, a lot of times it's like the fox, he's kind of like, the thief energy or whatnot. But in ancient times, at least in the part of the world where I live, it was a very shamanic energy that he had, because he lives underground and comes out at night, out into the darkness, looks at the shadow, hunts in the night, that type of thing, kind of like walking both realms, underneath as above, so below, that type of thing. So, he's actually a very powerful spirit animal. But this is you, tapping into this portal of ancestral energy to look for what it is that you need to heal for your lineage here. Four of Cups here. See how, here's the light, here's the joyfulness, the happiness, the love, all of that. And then here, the shadow thing, the things that we've stuck into the mud, the things that might not really be true, but the stories that, are not told, or are not told correctly, or needs to be healed, whatever that is. So there needs to be brought some sort of balance back into your ancestral story here. Something needs to come to light, and the story needs to be rewritten, is what I'm seeing. Queen of Wands and the Hermit here. So this is, this is like you exploring what is this, going into perhaps a dream state, or whatever. For some of you it can be like physically looking back into your ancestral story and see, reading up about what people did and didn't do, trying to do some research on that. And for some of you it's an intuitive process. It just depends on, but there's definitely something to be released from this karmic pattern in this full moon energy. Here's the Six of Wands, Seven of Wands here. So, it's yeah, this looking at things and saying, okay, this has gone on long enough. This is bullshit. Excuse my language. It's time. It's time we put a stop to these endless cycles of not being good enough, of passing down, generation to generation, all these wounded patterns that nobody has really healed. Um, it's time to put an end to that, to put a final boundary that says, okay, we're going to heal this shit, and then it's going to end with me, type of thing. That energy of you being the wounded healer to to fix the other's mistake. I don't know that's I don't know what to think of that. To evolve, that's better. Yeah, to evolve, to grow, to say, okay, here's here's a new here's a new way of doing things, a new way for us to be in the world. And see how these hands, the ancestors are like there to kind of say, okay, yeah, it's okay to grow. Some of these cards are a bit dark, but this is shadow work. So what is the seer not seeing coming here, Spirit? What are we not seeing? King of Cups at the bottom. Yeah, here's the Knight of Wands. In this card, he definitely looks like someone who's on a path to see something in a new perspective, something that's kind of agonizing. It's not, this is not an easy energy. But see how this fox is like, yeah, I'm not scared. I go between worlds, as above, so below. So, this is like him following his intuition, his inner knowing, his willingness to look at whatever it is that needs to be healed in his family, in your family. Knowing that the fox is like, I see in the darkness. I don't give a rat's ass. um, yeah. Seven of Cups here. Multiple things to look at, multiple things to heal. But see how, there's a snake wrapped around all of this. It is the time to grow, outgrowing the old ways, all the stories that might not be totally based in truth, all the things that we have told each other that, we've had run in these family lines. It's time to evolve so that we can, this snake can get a bigger skin. Here's the High Priestess. That's you and your higher self looking at this, going like, all right, we're gonna end this now. We're gonna see this for what it is, and we're gonna heal it. They kind of look like, yeah, my boundaries here. We're done with this. So we have a final card on that, Spirit. Yeah, Queen of Cups. Queen of Swords. See how she's, like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. I am here. I'm standing. This is my truth. And I'm not gonna move on that. And here's the Queen of Cups with another snake. It is time to outgrow these old stories, these old ways of looking at things, these old ways of putting ourselves down, of not believing that things are possible. And get a much more stable way of, a way of loving ourselves. This is about self-care for a lot of you, about boundaries, about, standing up for yourself, and healing, basically. Can I get two of these? That was a little more than two. I think we'll just take two, Spirit. And this full moon thing is really, or this full moon energy is really a good time to work on this, to do some shadow work, to do some journaling, to do some releasing, cutting cords, that type of thing. And let it go. And if you're kind of like, well, I'm not really sure of what this all is, just remember, most energy work, well, all energy work is about the intention. So if you know intuitively, I have something I need to release on my own behalf, on my ancestors' behalf, this needs to, kind of be released from our line, but I can't really name it, then set the intention for your guides and your angels, whatever whoever you could communicate with here, to clean your field, to clean your ancestral line, to help you let go of whatever this is. You don't necessarily have to be able to name it. Sometimes, it's enough to set the intention that whatever this is, help me release it so that I can manifest from a more healed and a more enlightened way. And of course, if you do know exactly what this is about, well, then work with that, But don't feel like, oh, I can't name this 100%, so I can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. If your intention is to let something go here. Can we have a closing card, Spirit? Or two? No? I don't think we can. Not that deck anyway. All right, which deck then? This? I'll leave that. But there's something here about the power of the land, which to me, is this ancestral thing. Not necessarily, for some of you, there's some energy in going to, if you can, see, the actual place that you come from, the ancestral land that you come from. And if you can't do it physically in real life, you can do it in a meditation. For some of you, there's going to be something there for you to discover about yourself and about what you come from. The sacred landscape, yeah, pilgrims, see? For some of you, there's going to be something in going on a pilgrim's quest to the land that you come from. to kind of tap into this energy in order to release it. So yeah, if you can physically, great. Today people move so much, you might not be able to do that. That's fine. Then do it energetically. One more. Oh, see here? This one has sneaked itself in here. Actually, I think there's two. So that's why I couldn't get them from that one, because they were here. No, it was only one, but yeah, the return. See? The return to, what you come from. This to me is like returning home. And again, you might not be able to do that, but you can do that energetically in a meditation. You can work with that energy, going to explore whatever it is that is calling you. Hidden. Oh, I love spirit. Hidden treasures. You are on the right track. Gift revealed. So yeah, there's something in this energy work here. Go find something, that you need to release something on behalf of yourself, on behalf of your ancestral line. This feels big. This feels really, really big. So yeah, if this resonates with you, there's some healing work to do here that will leave you feeling much, much lighter. I kid you not, this is not a small energy. I really feel like congratulations is in order. If you choose to do this, you're going to be able to let go of something that has really, really been a burden, not just for you, but for generations. That is awesome. So anyway, if this resonates with you, please leave me a message or press like or subscribe or whatever you feel like. Um, and know also, that yeah, this is a full moon reading, but if you find this at a later time and you resonate with it, then know that that energy is always available to you. Sometimes it's more potent than other times, and this is one of those times, but that does not mean that if you find this 6 months from now and you're like, oh my God, I missed the window. No. Mm-mm. You can still do this. Healing is always available for you. So just know that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Big love.